All right, so today we're going to deep dive into some really fascinating material about a South Korean ed tech company called DABIDA.
Okay.
And they've been making some pretty big waves with their learning solutions.
Hmm.
And we've got some really cool sources for this one. We actually have their business plans and grant
Oh,
applications,
wow.
both in Korean and English, which gives us a really unique look at their strategy and ambitions.
Interesting.
And let me tell you, there is some seriously cool technology at play here.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
We're talking AI, smart pens, even robots.
Wow.
Yeah. So the big questions we're exploring today are, what is DABIDA's vision for the future of education,
Right.
and what makes them stand out in such a crowded ed tech market?
Yeah, it's a really interesting company. They seem to have this blend of really cutting edge technology, but also a focus on like core learning skills.
Yeah, and that really comes through in their product lineup.
Yeah.
So why don't we start there? Can you give us kind of a rundown of what DABIDA is actually offering?
Sure. So they've got this whole suite of products that they call hybrid interactive learning solutions.
Hmm.
And it's really all about combining physical tools with digital platforms.
Huh?
So it kind of blurs the lines between traditional learning and, the digital world.
I see. So can you give us like a concrete example of what that looks like in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. So imagine a student is using DABIDA's GeniPen,
Okay.
which is this smart pen that converts handwriting to digital text.
Uh-huh.
And they're using it to, say, solve a math problem.
Okay.
Now, their work isn't just, static on the page.
Yeah.
It's being analyzed in real time by this platform they have called GeniClass, which integrates with the pen.
Oh, wow.
So the teacher can actually see each step, each hesitation, and provide instant feedback, even if they're miles apart.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And then GeniTutor, which is their AI-powered tutoring system,
Okay.
that kicks in. It doesn't just give the answer, it provides personalized hints based on the student's individual learning patterns. So it really nudges them towards understanding.
So it's like having a personalized AI tutor, like looking over your shoulder,
Exactly.
guiding you along. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But beyond just like classroom applications you mentioned, the GeniPen might have potential beyond just note-taking.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So you can imagine using the GeniPen to instantly translate your handwritten notes into another language.
Wow.
Or picture an architect using it to sketch a design, and then the pen analyzes the structure in real time,
Okay.
highlighting potential flaws or even suggesting improvements.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with handwriting technology.
Yeah, now that's what I call thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
It seems like AI is really at the heart of their approach.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just digitizing old methods. It's like they're using technology to fundamentally change how we learn.
Yeah.
So what other ways are they leveraging AI and data analysis?
Well, the AI-powered handwriting analysis goes beyond just, converting text.
Sure.
It's about understanding the thinking behind the writing.
Okay.
So by analyzing things like stroke speed and pressure, even like the shapes of letters, the system can identify learning patterns and even emotional cues that a human eye might miss.
Wow.
And then all this data feeds into the personalized instruction and feedback,
Wow, that's amazing.
creating this truly customized learning experience.
But are they building all this AI themselves?
It's interesting. They're actually taking this kind of two-pronged approach.
Okay.
So they're integrating with existing AI models like the OpenAI API
Uh-huh.
to power some features like automated question tagging and AI-generated hints.
Okay.
But they're also developing their own proprietary AI for things like handwriting analysis.
Okay.
And they even have future plans for automatic question generation.
Wow, that's smart.
Yeah.
Leverage what's already out there, but also build your own unique capabilities.
Exactly.
Now, one thing that really jumped out at me in the materials was this mention of a cryptocurrency mining system
Oh, yeah.
that uses the ePen. That seems like a wild idea.
It is a little out there.
Are students mining crypto as they learn?
Well, the patent application is a little vague on the details, but it definitely raises some eyebrows.
Yeah.
It seems to suggest that the act of writing with the GeniPen could somehow contribute to a cryptocurrency mining process.
Okay, if they pull that off, that's revolutionary.
It would be.
But it also raises a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Is this ethical?
Mm-hmm.
What are the potential implications? I guess we'll have to wait and see how that develops.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of big ambitions, it's clear that DABIDA isn't just focused on Korea.
Right.
They're talking about global expansion,
Uh-huh.
especially in developing countries.
Yeah, and that global vision really comes through in their mission statement.
Yeah, they're not just chasing profits. They see themselves as addressing educational inequities and bridging the digital divide.
Which is huge.
That global vision is fascinating.
Yeah.
Does their technology reflect that goal at all?
Absolutely. They specifically highlight the need to cater to diverse learning environments.
Okay.
They talk about the importance of offline functionality, recognizing that not every student around the world will have consistent internet access.
So they're not just assuming everyone has the latest tech.
Right.
They're thinking about accessibility from the ground up.
Yeah.
Where are they specifically targeting their global efforts?
Well, they're emphasizing expansion into African and Southeast Asian markets,
Okay.
regions with rapidly growing populations and a huge demand for quality education.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But going global isn't just about translating your website.
Right.
Are they talking about tailoring their approach to different cultures and educational systems?
They are. They specifically mention the Ivory Coast and Indonesia as key target markets.
Okay.
And they're planning pilot programs and developing localized content to make sure their solutions are relevant and effective in those specific contexts.
So they're putting in the work to make sure their solutions are culturally relevant.
Yeah.
Not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
It seems like they understand that true global impact requires a deep understanding of the nuances of each region.
Yeah. And all of this sounds incredible. But here's the million-dollar question.
Okay.
How do they plan to compete in a market that is dominated by giants like Google Classroom? Can a relatively new company like DABIDA actually make a dent?
Well, they're definitely not shying away from the challenge.
Okay.
In fact, they see their unique approach as a key differentiator.
So what do they see as their competitive edge?
Well, as we discussed earlier, their focus on integrated hardware-software solutions.
Okay.
That combination of the GeniPen, GeniBot, and GeniClass creates this learning ecosystem that you don't really find with these purely software-based platforms. They're betting that the tactile, hands-on experience of writing, combined with powerful AI and real-time feedback, will be a winning formula.
So it's like they're combining the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
The physical and the digital. But can they really compete with Google's resources and reach?
Well, that's where their business model gets interesting.
Okay.
They're not just relying on traditional sales and subscriptions. They're also adopting this direct-to-consumer model, where individual educators can actually create and sell courses on the GeniClass platform.
That's ambitious.
Yeah.
Do you think they have the infrastructure to manage that kind of marketplace?
It's a bold move, for sure. They'll need to build a really robust system for content creation, quality control, payment processing.
Right.
But if they can pull it off, it could create this powerful network effect, turning individual teachers into brand ambassadors and attracting a wider range of learners to their platform.
So they're not just trying to compete head-on with the giants.
Oh, right.
It's like they're carving out their own niche and building a community around their unique approach.
Yeah, it's really smart.
I'm starting to see why people are so excited about this company.
Yeah.
But beyond the technology and the business model, what about the people behind it all? Who's driving this ship?
Well, their CEO has this really long and impressive track record in the edtech industry.
Oh, wow.
They've held leadership roles in several successful companies, and they have a deep understanding of both the educational and technological aspects of the field.
So it's not just a bunch of tech enthusiasts with a cool idea.
Right.
They have experience and credibility behind them.
And not just experience. Their bio highlights a really impressive list of awards and recognitions for their work in education.
Wow.
They've also been involved in government-funded projects and partnered with institutions like the Gyeonggi Center for Creative Economy and Innovation.
Wow. That sounds like they have a pretty strong network within the industry.
Yeah.
Which is essential for navigating the complex world of education.
Definitely.
It definitely suggests they have the connections and the know-how to make their vision a reality.
Yeah, I think so.
We've covered a lot of ground here, from cutting-edge technology to ambitious global plans. It's clear DABIDA is a company on a mission to revolutionize education.
Yeah.
But are they just a flash in the pan, or are they here to stay?
That's a good question.
Let's take a break here, and we'll come back to unpack some of the challenges and opportunities they face in this ever-evolving edtech landscape.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. We've just scratched the surface of what DABIDA is all about, and I'm already impressed by their ambition and innovation. But let's get real for a second. Every company, especially in the fast-paced world of edtech,
Right.
faces its fair share of hurdles.
Exactly. And DABIDA is no exception. One of the biggest challenges I think they'll have to address is this whole issue of data privacy.
Yeah, that's a huge concern these days, especially when it comes to kids and education. Parents and policymakers are rightly worried about how student data is collected, used, and protected.
For sure.
And DABIDA's tech, with its AI analysis and personalized learning,
Yeah.
is collecting a lot of sensitive information.
Yeah.
We're talking about handwriting, problem-solving steps,
Yeah.
emotional cues.
That's right. It's this treasure trove of data that could be incredibly valuable, but also incredibly vulnerable.
So how are they approaching this? Because if they don't get data privacy right, it could be like a major roadblock to their success.
Yeah, they do acknowledge data security and user privacy in their materials.
Okay.
They mention things like using encryption and access controls and complying with relevant regulations.
But is that enough?
Right.
Saying we take data privacy seriously is one thing, but actually demonstrating how they're protecting that data is another.
I agree. To really gain the trust of schools and parents, and especially international regulators, they're going to need to be much more transparent. Think clear, detailed explanations about what data they collect, how they use it, and what measures they have in place to prevent misuse.
Okay.
It's about building trust, not just ticking boxes.
Transparency is key. Another potential challenge that comes to mind is digital equity. They're aiming for this global reach, particularly in developing countries.
Right.
But access to technology isn't evenly distributed.
Yeah, you've hit on a crucial point. Even within those developing markets, there are these vast disparities in access to reliable internet computers, even electricity in some cases.
Right.
A cutting-edge smart pen and AI platform are great, but only if students have the basic infrastructure to use them.
So how is DABIDA accounting for that digital divide? Are they just assuming everyone will have the same level of access?
Well, they do mention the importance of offline functionality, which suggests they're at least aware of these limitations. They also talk about working with governments and NGOs to find solutions that are appropriate for different contexts.
It's a good start. But the devil's in the details.
Yeah.
Bridging the digital divide is a complex issue. It requires more than just good intentions.
For sure.
It requires strategic partnerships and a real commitment to providing alternative solutions for students who might not have reliable internet access.
Absolutely. It's one thing to say you're committed to digital equity. It's another to make it a reality. They'll need to demonstrate concrete steps and invest resources to make sure their solutions are accessible to all learners, regardless of their technological circumstances.
And it's not just about the tech itself.
Yeah.
It's also about cultural differences in learning and teaching.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What works in one country might not translate well to another.
Right. Education isn't a one-size-fits-all model.
Yeah.
Different cultures have different educational norms, curricula learning styles.
Right.
Something that resonates with students in Seoul might not have the same impact in rural Indonesia or a village in the Ivory Coast.
So how do they plan to address this challenge of cultural adaptation?
Well, localization is crucial. They'll need to adapt their content user interface, even their marketing messages, to resonate with each target market.
Okay.
And it seems like they are already thinking along those lines, developing localized content and working with local educators in key markets.
It sounds like they're taking the right steps, but it's a continuous process.
Yeah.
They'll need to be constantly listening, adapting, and refining their approach as they expand globally.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked data privacy, digital equity, and cultural adaptation, all significant challenges. But let's not forget the elephant in the room, the competition.
Right. The edtech market is incredibly competitive. We're not just talking about established giants like Google and Microsoft, but also this whole wave of innovative startups, all vying for a piece of the pie.
So how does DABIDA plan to stand out in this crowded landscape?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? What's their secret sauce? How do they convince schools and individuals to choose them over the big players?
That's the question.
Well, as we discussed earlier, their integrated hardware-software approach is a key differentiator.
Okay.
The GeniPen and the GeniBot, paired with their GeniClass platform, create this unique learning ecosystem. It's not just about digitizing traditional learning. It's about blending the physical and digital to enhance the learning experience.
I can see how that hands-on tactile element could be really appealing, especially for younger learners.
Yeah.
It's engaging in a way that Staring at a screen just isn't.
Exactly. And they're not just relying on the novelty factor either. They're also emphasizing real-time feedback and personalized learning powered by their AI engine.
Okay.
It's about providing tailored instruction and support that adapts to each student's strengths and weaknesses.
It's like having a personal tutor for every student.
Right.
Which is something that's traditionally been a luxury reserved for the wealthy.
Exactly.
And technology has the potential to democratize that kind of personalized learning experience, making it accessible to a much wider range of students.
For sure.
And DABIDA seems to be at the forefront of that movement.
They do.
And let's be realistic. It's not going to be easy. They're a relatively small player going up against some of the biggest names in tech.
Right.
So what's their strategy for making a real impact?
They're taking this kind of multi-pronged approach. They're pursuing partnerships with governments, educational institutions, NGOs, even individual educators. It's about creating a network, not just selling a product.
So they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're diversifying their outreach and creating multiple pathways to market.
Exactly. And they're not just relying on traditional marketing either. They're building this strong brand identity, highlighting their international awards and recognition, their commitment to social impact, and their innovative use of technology.
So it's about crafting a narrative that resonates with their target audience. It's like they're saying, we're not just a tech company. We're a force for good in the world of education.
And that message can be very powerful.
Yeah.
It appeals to educators, parents, investors who are looking for solutions that are not only effective, but also aligned with their values.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the challenges, but every challenge also presents an opportunity.
Right.
So what are the potential upsides for DABIDA if they can overcome these hurdles?
Well, the global edtech market is projected to reach trillions of dollars in the coming years.
Wow.
If DABIDA can capture even a small fraction of that market, it would be a game changer.
Those are some staggering numbers.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're strategically positioned to capitalize on that growth. They're not just targeting one specific segment. They're going after schools, individuals, businesses, even senior citizens.
Their diversified approach gives them multiple avenues for growth, and their focus on developing markets where demand for quality education is skyrocketing.
Yeah.
That's particularly smart.
It's like they're tapping into a market that's ripe for disruption.
Yeah.
Their unique combination of personalized learning, AI-driven insights, and accessible technology could give them a real edge in these emerging markets.
Precisely. If they can successfully navigate those data privacy, digital equity, and cultural adaptation challenges we discussed earlier, they'll be incredibly well-positioned to become a major force in the global edtech landscape.
It's a bold vision, and the stakes are high. They're not just building a company. They're trying to change the way the world learns.
It's true.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. They have a tough road ahead. And there are no guarantees of success.
Competition is fierce. Technology is constantly evolving, and the landscape of education is constantly shifting. They'll need to be agile, adaptable, and relentlessly innovative to stay ahead of the curve.
It's a high-stakes game, and there's no telling what the future holds.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so fascinating to watch. It's like witnessing the birth of a potential unicorn. A company that could fundamentally transform the way we learn and think.
And that's what makes DABIDA a company worth watching closely. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible in education, and their journey is just beginning.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far.
It has.
We've covered DABIDA's products, their global strategy, the challenges they face, and the enormous opportunities that lie ahead. But there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to examine: the financial side of things. We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into DABIDA. And honestly, I'm even more intrigued than when we started. We've uncovered their groundbreaking technology, their global ambitions, the challenges they face, and the huge opportunities ahead of them. But there's one crucial aspect we haven't fully explored yet, and that's the financial side of things.
Right. Let's talk money. We've seen glimpses of their revenue model, but to really get a sense of their viability, we need to dig into their funding and financial health.
Yeah, a brilliant idea and a game-changing product are fantastic, but they don't mean much if the company can't keep the lights on.
Exactly.
So what can you tell us about DABIDA's financial situation?
Well, from the documents you provided, it seems like they've been pretty savvy in securing funding from a variety of sources. They've attracted venture capital, they've secured government grants, and they even have some bank loans.
So they're diversifying their funding streams, which is smart.
Yeah, it reduces their reliance on any single source, and it shows that they're appealing to different types of investors.
And have they been successful in securing significant investments?
They have. One grant application mentions receiving 100 million Korean won from a government program focused on fostering innovation in education.
That's not pocket change.
Yeah.
It seems like they're attracting serious investment, which is a good sign. But funding is only one part of the equation. Are they actually generating revenue? Are they making money yet?
Well, it's a little tricky to get a complete picture from these documents since we don't have a full financial statement.
Right.
However, it is clear that they're generating revenue from multiple streams. They list sales figures for their GeniBot and GeniPen, and they've also got revenue coming in from GeniClass subscriptions.
And don't forget their licensing agreements for educational content.
Oh, right. That's another potentially lucrative revenue stream, especially as they expand globally and partner with more educational institutions.
So they've got multiple irons in the fire, which is encouraging.
Yeah.
But the ultimate question is, are they profitable?
That's the million-dollar question. Some documents hint at profitability, but without more detailed financials, it's hard to say for sure.
It's a bit like trying to solve a puzzle with some pieces missing. But even with this limited financial picture, I think a clear pattern emerges.
I agree. They're ambitious, they're strategic, and they're not afraid to explore unconventional avenues. Their cryptocurrency mining concept is a perfect example of that outside-the-box thinking.
It's like they're constantly pushing the boundaries, not just in terms of technology, but also in terms of their business model and their approach to growth.
And that entrepreneurial spirit is really evident in their expansion plans. They're not content with just growing domestically. They're actively seeking out new markets internationally, targeting regions with massive growth potential.
It's like they have a global vision that extends beyond just selling products. They seem to see themselves as playing a role in shaping the future of education worldwide.
Absolutely. And they're not limiting themselves to traditional educational institutions either. They're exploring partnerships with businesses, community organizations, even individual educators.
So they're creating this whole ecosystem around their products and their vision for the future of learning.
It's incredibly smart. It allows them to reach a much wider audience and tap into diverse revenue streams.
It's a build strategy, but it also comes with its own set of challenges.
Of course.
Managing all those partnerships, ensuring quality control across a diverse range of content creators, navigating the complexities of different markets. It's a lot to juggle.
It is. They'll definitely need to be strategic and prioritize their efforts.
But it's exciting to see a company with such a broad vision and a willingness to experiment.
I agree.
Now let's zoom out for a moment and consider the bigger picture. What does DABIDA's story tell us about the state of the edtech industry as a whole?
I think DABIDA really embodies the exciting possibilities at the intersection of technology and education. It's not just about replacing old methods with digital equivalents. It's about fundamentally rethinking how we learn and teach.
It's about finding ways to enhance and personalize the learning experience.
Yeah.
Making it more engaging, more effective, and more accessible to learners all over the world.
And technology is such a powerful tool for achieving those goals.
It is.
DABIDA's focus on AI and data analysis reflects a broader trend in edtech. It's no longer just about delivering content. It's about understanding how students learn and tailoring instruction to their individual needs.
Right. It's about moving away from this one-size-fits-all model of education and creating a truly personalized learning journey for every student.
Exactly. And DABIDA's success or failure will be a significant indicator of whether this vision for the future of education can actually take hold.
So their story is bigger than just one company. It's a glimpse into a future where learning is more personalized, more engaging, and more accessible than ever before.
And that's what makes this deep dive so compelling. It's not just a business story. It's a story about the potential of technology to transform one of the most fundamental aspects of human society, education.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into DABIDA. We've explored their groundbreaking innovations, their ambitious global plans, the hurdles they face, and the incredible opportunities that lie ahead.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It really has.
Lucky.
And I have a feeling this is just the beginning of their story.
I think so too.
But for our listeners, the question remains, will DABIDA live up to its promise? Will they revolutionize education as we know it? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, they've given us a lot to think about. And that's what the deep dive is all about, exploring the ideas and innovations that are shaping our world. Thanks for joining us.